Oh, good morning, region, and happy December. The snow's on the ground, Dan, and we're still here. And Little Calumet River Basin Commission keeps chugging along like we need to make sure, because we always worry when we get snow, and then you have a melt, and that water has to go somewhere, folks. The good part that we run into is this time of year, the ground is still not frozen, so when it melts, most of the water is going to go in the ground. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a winter lover, I saw the long-term forecast, and everyone's like, "Yeah, I get it. The weather people aren't always right." But from a cold perspective, it's you're not going to see a large warm-up. I think next
week I saw 40s.
It was like 30 something, but you're not looking at the 70s where you get the thunderstorms on top of this rain. And I will tell you, the snow last night was just consistent. It was just like, I was like, all right, do I shovel? And it was like, when I woke up this morning, I'm like, I'll have to do that later on this evening. So
it's a spattering dusting.
But we're still doing projects, so we still have to do the maintenance of it, and that's what we're sort of focusing on in the wintertime.
I actually happened to go on our website, littlecaliberbassincommission.org, and just was perusing at the different gauges to see where we're at with that, because the nice thing about those folks is by monitoring the gauges, you can see when there's spikes in the gauges that we've got beaver activity that's going on in the system.
Right by Grant Street.
Blocking the system. So we kind of can pinpoint within a certain area where the problem childs are.
Well, and you'll have late breaking news, and everyone else will. We talked to the USGS, which is U.S. Geological Survey, who does the gauges that monitor the maintenance. We participate financially, and then they maintain it. So we're going to finally get it done. We had a long conversation yesterday. Every gauge, or almost every gauge, some of the gauges don't make much difference to some, except for us internally, but every gauge will have some form of warning system, so that when you look at it now, you're like, all right, well, it's 8 feet. Well, what does 8 feet mean to me on Turkey Creek?
Right.
It doesn't mean anything. But from the USGS perspective, we'll have warnings. So we'll say, hey, if it gets to 8 feet, expect 61st Street to be underwater. So be careful of that. So we're working on that. They have a new little gadget that they have, and then we have our warning system through the core. And so by spring, we believe we could be able to integrate all of them into a system where you'll be able to tap on it. And I still don't think people take full advantage of all those gauges that they should. I mean,
there's just so much information.
In 2008, there was no gauge that was south of 30, well, south of 45th, actually, except for one, and that was the one by Dyer Town Hall. We have spread those gauges out, so now if you're in Hobart, and I've told the story before, I still remember talking to Mayor Snedeker. He said, we never knew what was going to come to us in Hobart. We just sort of watched. Then so now we have 3 gauges south of them, so they have an idea. Hey,
where's it coming from?
Is it peaking or is it not peaking? And what we have. So it's good monitoring for them.
For the people that don't understand, so when we first came onto the commission in 2008-9,
I was 10, but yeah.
And then I think we had 1 gauge or 2, U.S. Geological Survey, and it was
there was shared partnerships amongst different people. Like INDOT partnered with some of them. We partnered with 1 or 2. The National Weather Service, which is everyone that likes to look at that one, that's in Munster.
And there was really no predictability upstream as to what was coming and what we could expect. So over the years, we added numerous rain gauges, I'll call them rain gauges for lack of a better term, as to how much flow was coming through the system and where it was originating. Because we've had situations where you had a massive rainstorm down in Crown Point, and not a drop of rainfall in Munster, Hammond, Cherville, and we could see the gauges in Crown Point, or great gauges south of Crown Point, that jumped up, and we knew that eventually this wall of water was coming, and we need to make sure that everything in the system is cleared out, no obstructions, and go back in time in 2008-9, one of the biggest issues was maintaining the system, making sure there was no blockages in the system, so the water could freely flow from the south to the north and out to the eventually out to the Lake Michigan. And when you got, just like you got a plugged toilet, if you don't have a plugged toilet, what's going to happen? It's going to overflow on the floor. And theoretically, that's exactly what occurred.
Yeah.
And our goal is to make sure that we have enough monitoring sources within the system to mitigate that event from 2008 to ever happen again.
And there's been talk with communities that want to, you talked about rain events. Well, not everyone has rain gauges. Like you go on social media and you have your amateur meteorological folks that have like their little rain gauges, and that's cool.
TG's rain gauge.
Right. I mean, Gaz has got one, and I love it. Yeah. Right. So, we'll say, well, we got 3 inches, and he goes, well, I got 2.6 at my house. Right. Well, if you put a couple of those strategically, because not all the rain gauges that we have a part of the USGS update as quickly as we need them to be. So if you say we partner with Crown Point Schools, and I'm just throwing them out there.
Because they got numerous locations.
Yeah, and so you throw it at one of the high schools and say, here, this is where we're going to put the gauge. We want to know how much it is. And then you know what? For your science class, you have total access to this as well. So you can learn that segment of the situation. I mean, it's beneficial to us because, as you said, it doesn't rain uniformly all the time throughout here, just like it doesn't snow.
Just like snow.
It's like, I got
that
10 inches.
It was like maybe 5-10 years ago, and we had that crazy lake effect snow. We had like 2 feet in Griffith, and there was like 1 inch in Munster.
Yep.
And it was just like this little band of snow. So it's not going to rain or snow or you have the same weather pattern in the same community. I mean, what was it, last month or 2 months ago? The city of Hammond and Whiting got completely demolished with a massive rainstorm, and there wasn't anything south of 94.
Yeah, they got 12 inches over 36 hours, and we got 5 inches over 36 hours. So, I mean, there's a big difference in what we're going to do, and what we said we were going to do is model it. We have a model that's going on now, and basically it's a 3D model that allows you to predict if X falls here, what are the expected outcomes. And so thankfully we didn't have any large outcomes in the watershed, because just north of us is the end of our watershed. So all that water made it to Grand Calumet or Lake Michigan. But if you would have moved it, as I've said to the board, is you've moved that 4 miles or 5 miles now, you center that over 94 and you push everything, the 12s are now, the 8s, you have a different story on your hands. And that's the weird thing. I'm not getting into climate change.
No.
It's just reality is nothing falls uniformly, and it never will.
Well, the good news for our listeners and the people that pay the $45 fee is we're being more proactive than we are being reactive. And we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to mitigate what happened in 2008. And one of the things that's going to be coming up, and we approved it the other day, and we've approved it before, and the numbers just didn't speak for doing it, is there's certain situations within the system where we have to have human intervention.
Right.
Human intervention means throwing sandbags, making blocking off the roads for passage and things of that nature. So we've done a pretty good job over the last decade and a half to get rid of the human intervention in the majority of the places. The last linchpin is the Kennedy Avenue Bridge. So if you're ever traveling over Kennedy Avenue Bridge, you'll see the wall, and then the bridge deck is lower than the wall.
5 feet.
Yeah, so we would like to eventually bring that up. So in the event of a massive rainstorm, we're at 602, everything's at 602, and we don't have to ask human intervention to throw sandbags, to make blockages, and then traffic can flow freely through every street, north-south, along the system.
And we've been critical of the core and the design, and this is just one of those things where when they designed this system, first of all, they left 55,000 sandbags of human intervention, and just so that the public...
Was at the beginning?
At the very beginning.
Think of this, folks.
55,000.
Filling 55,000 sandbags and throwing them.
And by the way, that's during an emergency, and you can't store them for too long because the bags degrade. So 55,000 is a a lot. I mean, you couldn't even get as many high school football teams together to put 55,000. So what we did was we started taking out human intervention. So we took out Harrison Street and Clark and
Harrison Street,
Malcolm
Clark
X.
Those are areas in
Gary
that traverse the river in Gary, and that would require sandbags to be in a big event. Sandbags
and what they did
and the Columbia Avenue Bridge,
right? Columbia Avenue
that was raised as well.
Although small closure, and Jim's going to interject in this great conversation. But that's what they did to Gary. Like in 35th Street was another. They had a post and panel. All this is during an emergency. The closure at Columbia now is only like 8 inches, I believe. It still had to be done just because they couldn't do the approaches because they had to take out several houses, and that wasn't going to work. So the last part, in our opinion, is Kennedy Avenue, and that's 5 feet on both sides. Now the problem with that, or the difficulty, is you have a lot of utilities running through there. You also have approaches from the expressway.
Right.
It's not going to be cheap. We've asked the county for some assistance, and we're going to meet with them later on this month. But it's sad what they did. Like, how do you build a levee system and go, oh, by the way, there's going to be a 5-foot gap in it? Anyone knows any emergency you've ever been under? That's
water's going to find its lowest point, and that's where it's going to start overtop.
And thanks, Jim, for coming in and allowing us to use Lois's car here.
I
thought that's Jim's
Can you
car.
guys hear me?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes, giving me a little bit of ear. You know what?
I
bring the kids here at night. You see the little boys one here and a girl.
Does the horn work?
Hey, Jim,
this is a wide open gymnasium. They just run around.
Mr. Delo, is this our time, Mr. Hand?
You asked me to come in. What are you talking about? Hey, can I ask one little Cal-related question? Mayor McDermott was on before this, and if you're listening later, which most of you do.
So if you're going over Kennedy Avenue Bridge and you look, you'll see a wall on either side that stops right at the bridge. That's the height of the 602. So when they...
And the 602, just so you know, is sea level. That's the elevations that we work off of.
Yeah,
we don't work off of 7. I mean, we're using 5 feet as a general number, but the elevation of the levee is roughly 602 in that area.
Above sea level, yeah.
So what is that going to do for traffic?
Okay, great question. So two things, and Tom, if you want to come in, but everyone knows that they're going to extend Kennedy Avenue through Cherville to US 30. So you're going to increase traffic there long term. They're doing the bridge right now by the railroad, by Avenue, whatever that is,
H. Whatever, yeah.
So currently there's 20,000 cars on Kennedy Avenue that traverse that every day on a daily basis. The plan is...
That's all? 20,000? It seems like more.
When you're doing work out there, it's a good amount.
Yeah.
So the plan is it would be a 2-year construction cycle, always leaving at least one lane in each direction, not like they did on 45th, and people in Munster went ballistic because it was not safe. We know that it's safe. We can keep one lane in both directions and just build it. East side goes first, west side goes second.
One lane in each.
One lane.
I'm sorry.
Adriana,
right now it's
actually 3. I think is my ears. I can't hear anything.
It's a 4
lane.
2 lanes in each direction right now. So basically, what we would do is rebuild half, raise it up, and then when that's half is done, go to the other side and do the other half.
Correct.
So the reason I ask that is that I went to this meeting. And I didn't see you guys there, but I'll tell you when the next one is.
I was at the in-depth one online.
Oh, you were on? Yeah, they did. They did it online.
So
and that was an option. I just wanted to see the people there. Mm-hmm. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, what do they call it? There's this website for it, and I can't remember it, but it is a 3-year project in which they are going to massively rip up the Borman, right?
Yes.
So you guys are going to be taking Kennedy Avenue down to one lane at the same time they're ripping up the Borman.
Yeah, there will be a 1-year overlay on that. If we go this year, if we wait a year, it goes into it.
We're going to believe me. This is discussions we have constantly. We're very cognizant of other things being closed, and we won't do that.
All right, but. There's no way to. I mean, if they're doing it for 3 years, there's no way not to have an overlay.
I will tell you, I think they will be delayed before we get delayed.
Now, when I went there in early summer, they said they were going to break ground before it got cold, and they have not done that. And just so everybody knows, it's this deal where they're going to rip up lanes and put in internet cables, and then they're going to put these massive, what they call gantries, which are basically just like rate field size massive scoreboards, and they're going to put one every 14. They're going to put one every half mile for 14 miles in each direction.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It is an amazing, just to build those signs is going to cause massive disruption. And then they got to reconfigure lanes, and they got to restripe, and then they've got to actually bust a few out.
Hey, don't you have these new cars? Don't they have screens on their dashboards? Can't they just
You're assuming. You're assuming people are going to read those signs as they're on their phones.
Let's get back to the real world. We're talking about the river, because the pipe dream up and down 94 happens. And I told my son this the other day. I says, we have to rip up 94 every year to justify the gas tax. So we got to rip up I-65 and 94 every year to justify the gas tax.
But it is related to the river because
you're gonna have bottleneck there when you try to exit, and then you run into construction.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be that may be the worst point in the whole construction system. No, the worst point is further on where your river is down there too, because they're going to take out. You know how you can get on Broadway and go to I-65? They're going to take that out, and they're going to redo that whole. I think like a third of the money is going towards that intersection.
Amen.
And your river's right there too.
Yep, and they need easements from us.
Yes.
I know.
And
This
so
will be fun.
I mean,
Are they going to raise the bridge at Broadway too? Why do they do that? Because that's another spot where it's lower than the protection.
Okay, so back to the river.
Yeah.
And the bike trails. So when you're redoing this at Kennedy, you're not putting a bike bridge over.
The plan is to go underneath Kennedy Avenue. It would be a tunnel underneath.
Yeah,
and the reason why is, Tom brings this up, and he's asked me, is because there are so many utilities. So on the east side, not giving any secrets, on the east side of the bridge, there are a force main from Highland Sanitary. There's also a water line, large water line that comes from that side. So to put the piers in to hold a bridge over, impossible, almost impossible to do. I don't want to say impossible, but very, very costly.
That's just silty, saggy, muck land.
Part of one of the problems that we run into at the overpass at Kennedy is there's inside the river is the columns.
Piers, yeah.
Piers. We are going to have a pierless across, so there won't be any obstructions whatsoever. Because every few years we have to, when there's a big rain event, we end up cleaning that up.
We actually have to do it this month.
We have to close Kennedy Avenue to get down there and get all the logs that have been log jammed in there.
So just so everybody, if I have questions, I'm sure other people do
Ask
too.
away.
So when you redo Kennedy Avenue, you're actually going to knock that bridge out?
We're piece by piece. So east side, west side, yes.
Yeah, we're going to do
one lane in each direction.
Yeah, we're going to do half the bridge one year and half. We're planning to do
you
it
have
over
to.
2 years.
AT&T has a major line that comes through there. There's a lot of things.
There's too much stuff going on.
So when you redo Kennedy Avenue, it already kind of swales up. Are you going to raise the bridge?
Everything gets graded properly, even into the developments, both by the Oxbow landing
and visitor center.
and the visitor center.
All right, so you're going to have to redo those intersections a little bit. And then but going into Kennedy Avenue, like say you're coming from the expressway, you get off the expressway is a little higher, you come down, and then you go up already over Kennedy Avenue.
Right.
Are you going to have to go over a?
No, it will be more of graded properly.
Okay.
So you won't be dipping.
We're going to try to
you
keep
won't be dipping and then going up.
We're trying to keep this thing.
All right, so you're
we have
going
a phone call.
You're going to build a whole new bridge that doesn't have the support columns in the river.
And above the elevation of the 200-year flood so that we can not have to protect it in the case of emergency. Otherwise, I'm shutting off traffic of 20,000 cars.
Yeah, we would have to shut the bridge down.
So to finalize the idea that everyone that's on the radio, you would be coming down the bike trail is going to stay on the same side of the river, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
It'll
we're
be
not
on the
moving
north
anywhere.
we're not
side
gonna
of
go
the
behind.
river, and then you'll go underneath it, the Kennedy Avenue Bridge, and then what will happen? It will.
Then it connects into the pedestrian bridge over the top, or you can continue going past the Oxbow Park. I know the mayor
man,
has.
that's a huge project, man.
Well, the estimate is $17 million.
Okay.
I mean, and so that's just what it is. I mean, we know that we bid it out before we didn't have the ability.
Yeah, we've been discussing this probably for the last 7 years.
So you got a phone call, and I've got Chief Shekel and Dr. Brown and everybody else.
Well, they
so
can
we got to
wait.
be on town.
Hey, we got pushback.
I know.
Come on, you're killing me here.
Take your phone call. You still got a phone call?
No, they hung up.
They hung up?
I'm just kidding.
No, they're still
All
there.
right, I still can't hear, so
That's
I don't
all
know.
right.
All
You
right,
never
go
pay
ahead.
attention. Caller, go ahead.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Great. How are you?
Great. Hey, Dan, ever since you've been coming on doing the show for like the last 40 years,
Yeah,
you,
I feel like
you,
it.
you always sing the praises of what a shoestring budget you're operating on, and it's a one-man operation there, and you guys don't spend any money.
Mhm.
I'm Munster the other day and on Calumet Avenue, and I can't help but notice you guys are currently occupying one of the most premier luxury office spaces in Munster on Calumet Avenue for the Little Calumet River Basin Commission office.
Yeah, you should come up and
Okay,
visit.
Yeah, I'm curious, what is the rent there?
Ooh, I don't know. But I don't know the rent. I can tell you what the rent is when I look it up. I really don't. I haven't
Off the
looked
top
at
of my
it.
head, I don't.
I
What's your
wouldn't know.
point? What's your point?
Yeah,
I'm up against the clock.
My point is, you're always touting what a shoestring budget you're on, yet you are probably renting one of the most expensive office spaces for your office.
All right.
in all Lake.
Got it. Thank you.
So I'll
Thank you.
I'll address it from my perspective, and Tom, if he wants to address it from his perspective, I will tell
Well,
you this.
I think you start by saying that we got into a situation where we were basically occupying wherever we could find a space to
Yeah.
meet. And that was part of the problem. We actually got, basically booted out of where we were at.
Kind of like
So we kind of got booted out of where we were at. And then the second thing is we also had a secondary space that was basically our war room.
Yeah, that went away
in another location, and we lost that as well. So in the event of a major incident or event, we needed to make sure that we had a space that all the partners and our partnerships, so all the river communities could meet at in case that there was an event. And 2, to bring in the technology that we needed, and then 3, to make sure that we had backup generation and everything for the process that we need to.
So that office space is just an office. I mean, Jim, you've been up there. You
It's a
saw
big
this.
meeting room as well.
It's just a giant meeting room. It's probably a bigger playground for this, but it's meant for multi-purpose, for multi-issues, for the emergencies that we have. But what I will tell you is, from a financial perspective, and I think Tom can back this up, is none of the fees that get paid to us go towards the operation of us, whether it's that office space or anything else. Everything we have billboard leases, we have farm leases, we had a lease for land at a point in time, we have interest off of our accounts, all of that pays for it. So we don't have you can come up there.
I'm very sensitive.
Whoever the caller is,
and I'm very sensitive to what the caller said because I treat every dollar, and I can speak for the rest of us, like it was our own, and we don't try to waste one penny of the taxpayers' money on anything. Everything comes through our hands.
I know that with
are
Slinsky.
we are very cognizant of what we're doing and making sure that we're being good stewards of your money, because that's what it is. Eventually, it's your money. Our biggest thing is we don't want the 2008 event to ever happen again. And there was a huge problem back in 2008 of who's in charge, where are we meeting,
which is why we're here today.
What's the plan? Well, we have a plan now. We have a place to meet. We know where everybody's going to congregate, and we know where to go if there's ever an event.
You know the caller. I don't know the caller, but the caller can feel free to call us and come.
I'll
show you the place.
We welcome that.
We got to go.
She got another call, and according to my time clock, I still got like 3 minutes left.
We'll be quick. Get the other caller. We need. We don't get callers that much. Two
Go
callers.
Go ahead,
Rip
caller.
room.
Hey, guys.
Dave from Gary.
Yes, sir.
Hey, no matter what you would have said, it would have been the wrong answer. So
No, it's all good.
unless you're in a tent rubbing two sticks together to stay warm,
I'm
it wouldn't
fine.
have been good.
I'm fine
It wouldn't have been good enough. I know. Hey, but you did sort of answer a question of mine. And what percentage is automated versus actually somebody flipping a switch? You touched on that. You pretty much hit that. And I also want to let you know, westbound 8094 at the 294-94 merge is a parking lot, and westbound from Klein all the way to that point is rough. So, guys, have a great holiday.
Traffic's good.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
got it.
And by the way, it's all automated except for when we have to override the system. But all of our pump stations are all automated.
Yep.
Next caller, no one? No, he hung up?
All right, hey,
Jim's really getting nervous here with the
So
chief
I
and the-
do have one comment on that.
You got
and
1
that
minute.
is, and that, you have one waiting?
No,
1 minute.
no.
All right, so hold on a second.
Un momento.
I've seen the space, and it is, I don't know if there was a massive 2008, if it would be large enough, but it would be close to be able to bring in the various police departments and so forth. But you mentioned one thing. You said that the technology was there. So,
Yeah.
and that was a question I was going to have. Do you have backup generation?
Yep.
And you have the ability to get internet from different sources and to back up if it is that bad?
We have redundancies in internet. We have backup generation solely for that unit alone in that building. So when everyone else goes down, we're the only unit. I hate to say this because I'm sure the landlord's not going to be excited about it, but we're the only unit that will be up and powered, besides the stairways.
Okay.
and that's it.
Well, I mean that obviously affected
And we paid
me
for
the
that,
first
yes.
time around, as
For sure.
I was the only one that could bring all the communication together. And anyways, next time we come in, thank you for letting me come in.
And thanks to the caller. Great questions.
Yeah,
I mean,
good.
those are questions that we answer all the time.
That's why we come here.
internally. We want to make sure that
I don't have a problem
we're
with
good stewards of your money. And believe me, that went round and round and round for years as to where we're eventually going to wind up. So,
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
People will be listening later. This won't matter. Purdue opens Big Ten basketball tonight here on the Voice of the Region.
Against who?
they do. Go Boilers.
Where are they playing?
Rutgers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Football season's over.
This
thank God.
show's over, and Town of Munster starts in about 2 minutes. See you later.